And welcome back to the MedTech Wealth Advisor Show. I'm your host, Matt Nelson with Perspective 6 Group, and we help professionals in the MedTech industry become financially independent. If you want to learn more about our firm, check out our website at perspective6group.com. Today, I'm joined with my partners, Matt Finley and Jacob LaRue, both lead advisors on the team. Now, both of you make regular appearances on the show, so this isn't new to you, but this is the first time we've all three been on together. So, hopefully we don't break the audio or something like that.
Momentous occasion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll try to keep it on time.
Yes. Well, we typically have plenty of Teams and Zoom time. So this is not unfamiliar territory. Well, since we're recording this before Thanksgiving, and coming into the end of the year, I thought it'd be a great time to just see what Perspective 6 Group has been up to as we do our work with clients. I also want to highlight a few client cases that we thought were pretty interesting, and there were some significant tax savings or other planning technique we got to employ. And then this is a great time to hear from you, Mr. Finley, about how the portfolios have been working for clients and adjustments that are coming up. Anything else you think we should be covering?
Am I in trouble because you said Mr. Finley?
Well, yes, you are. Is that what your significant other refers to you as when she's upset?
No, we can't say those words on the podcast.
It's too much. Well, as you know, because listeners understand, we've got two Matts on the team, and so we've constantly got this Finley versus Nelson, I guess referring to people so we know who we're talking to. So yes, sir. All right, let's just jump in. So here's the thing. I thought it'd be kind of fun to have you pull together some stats, Jacob, about what has gone on over the last year at Perspective 6. We are just, we're always working behind the scenes on client cases and their portfolios and phone calls and so forth. So I asked you to pull a few things together. What did you find?
Yeah, it was quite the year for our team, it looks like. Diving right in here, let's talk about how many review meetings we had with clients. 256 total review meetings. So typically we meet with clients in the spring and fall. So about 128 each season there, we're doing great work. It's a lot of work, but it's great to see that our clients are taking up our meeting offerings. Another little tidbit on that, we've seen an uptick in Zoom meetings. So half of those were Zoom. So that's just, what the last 4 years have really trended towards, more people doing things online ever since COVID. So
yeah, that has been really interesting. We have a lot of local clients, but hey, if you don't have to drive over here from south of the river, why not? So we see a lot of clients on Zoom that are just local, but it has really changed the nature of our practice, because we have clients in California just as easy as we do in Minnesota.
That would have been a good stat to grab, how many states we work with client-wise now. Maybe next time. Yeah, maybe next time. So 256 normal reviews. And then we also brought on 11 new clients, which is great. That's about our average, what we try to hit for at least. And if you think about that, a new client could take anywhere from 3 to 4 meetings that first year. So add another 30 to 40 meetings. That gets us over or close to 300 meetings total. So.
Right. And I think they came from both inside the med tech industry and outside. We specialize with med tech, but certainly have a lot of just retired clients from other industries as well. And yeah, you mentioned, our level of service, we really can't handle more than 2 or 3 a month. If we were having 3 a month, I think our service level would fall on our current clients, and we're just not going to let that happen. So it's good to keep it paced, and then we'll, if we have a waiting period, we'll just have to implement that because we want to make sure we keep our promises.
Exactly. And hiring the right people like we did this year is part of that too. So yeah, let's see what else we got. This came kind of from the back office, just, the daily things that we do that an advisory practice has to do that kind of goes unseen for most people. So let's talk about phone calls our team fielded throughout the year. We have, we had 6 team members heading into this year. Now we got 8 with the 2 new hires, but 6,300 phone calls.
Oh my goodness.
That is a big number. I mean, 10 minutes even on the phone at that rate is a lot of time. So
It's funny when you put it in that perspective.
yeah. And then, we do everyday tasks for clients, whether it's raising cash for their monthly needs or, opening up a Roth IRA. And we track all of that in our contact management software. So we have it broken out here. Total client tasks or workflows, about 5,200. That's a big number. For those of you that might ask what a workflow is, that's kind of our checks and balances, just our steps that we have to follow to get certain things done, whether it's processing a charitable donation for a client from their IRA as a QCD or something like that. We have these workflows in place, make sure things get done appropriately. Those workflows accounted for about 1,600 of those. It's a big number.
Just our back. I mean, so in addition to when the 3 of us are just talking to clients on the phone or in the meeting, our excellent back office team, with everybody on that staff that just really is taking care of clients and making sure the real work happens. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, helps us remember that there is work going on back there.
Right.
Another thing that we really have started to do the last couple of years is just our tax analysis with our tax software that we have. This year was our biggest year for tax returns reviewed. That means we're getting tax returns uploaded to the system, making sure they're accurate, checking for any errors that might have occurred. So 143 tax returns were reviewed this year. That's awesome. That means, about half of the clients that came in had some type of tax review that happened as well. Great to see.
Yes, exactly. I understand we do a lot of Roth conversions, and we've talked about that as a planning technique quite a bit on past shows. How many of those did we get done, and what did you have any insights from that, Jacob?
Yeah, 35 total Roth conversions this year. So just remember, that's IRA money, paying tax today, converting it to Roth so you can grow it tax-free, pass it on tax-free later on. So 35 clients used that this year, and a total of $1.3 million made it into Roth IRAs from those conversions. So that's going to be very beneficial for those clients moving forward. And hopefully we can just keep doing that year over year.
Shield that from taxes. Yep, exactly. All right, very good. I think there was a couple of fun stats you kind of pulled together.
Yes. This might have been a little down this year because Abby was on maternity leave, and she's a big coffee drinker, but our consumed coffee for the team this year was about 1,400 cups of coffee. And that's crazy to think about. It means we're running on extra caffeine.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So here's the thing. This is sort of an inside joke. We got to let the listeners in on this. So when we moved into this new office space a few years ago, I sprung for a Jura machine. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, you can go look it up, but super fancy dancy, coffee machine that makes anything you want. We pretty much just use it for regular coffee and espressos, but, the team loves that. That's like everybody is using the Jura coffee machine, and it actually has a coffee cup counter on there because you have to maintain it and all this. And so we thought we'd pull together, like, how many cups of coffee do we actually drink? And there's only, like you said, Abby wasn't even here 3 of those months. So she probably, when she's here, she probably drinks half of those. Let's be honest.
I think the team was joking when we were pulling this stat together that Abby was responsible for about 30% of that. So
it's very good. This one I want to bring up. So this is episode number 30, and this is a kind of a milestone. 30 episodes. Yes, exactly. Thanks for the applause. So we're coming up on about a year of doing the show. And so that's a pretty big deal for what we've been up to as a group, wanting to just, communicate with the medtech community as well as our clients, do some educating, help people get better. It's really forced us to get better. And I think we've all had to improve our communication skills, take information and presentations that we would just do face-to-face with clients and learn how to put those into something that's communicated in 20 or 30 minutes. And so it's been very good, and we'll continue to do it. One other one before we move on is the amount of CE hours. And I asked you to pull that together. I was kind of surprised at this. So tell me what you found.
Yeah, so this is just a number for the three of us here. CE, we have to do every so often to make sure our certifications are up to good standing. And plus, it's just good learning for us, see what's new in the industry, things like that. So just between the three of us, we've spent over 80 plus hours of continuing education. So 2 full weeks, essentially. That's awesome to see. Hopefully, we can just push the ball forward with some of the things that we're learning. Clients might not see that yet, but someday in the future they will.
Right.
And usually at the last minute, right?
Don't say that.
That's the ones that were counted. Well, very good. I appreciate you pulling those together. We've got other stats that we could look at, but just thought we'd kind of throw out a few interesting tidbits. And I really want to move into some of the excellent work we've done for clients. And I asked us all three to pull together at least one case study, maybe an interesting client case where there's a unique situation or major tax savings. And I think we each have a good one to share in just a couple minutes. Why don't we start with you, Matt, Mr. Finley? What client did you work with this year that was an interesting case?
Yeah, so I have a client who is definitely wanting to reduce future taxes. We've had the Roth conversation with them number of times. They're now both retired, opened up the window for that. Secondly, they really have a desire to pass assets as efficiently and tax-free to their children and grandchildren for the future. So just going through the calculations, we actually did a $250,000 Roth conversion this year. And for this specific household, we're estimating the lifetime tax savings on that one conversion to be about $160,000. Let alone, obviously, the Roth growth ability through the remainder of their life. And we're targeting to do something similar again next year. So that's pretty significant savings for this household over time. And of course, the kids and grandkids are going to love tax-free money.
That is awesome. Yeah. It's one thing to explain a Roth conversion to a client, but then when you find that perfect client that it works for and they have the same or the goals that are necessary for it to really work, and you can see how these numbers can just compound, and that's awesome.
They really can. And that's why we have to look at it for everybody. It's not for everybody. Some clients we look at it and say, it's just not, let's just skip it. But for those that it works, it can work really well. And, you talk about 160,000 saved. I would say that offsets the fees we charge them for maybe their lifetime or multiple lifetimes. So yeah, I really, and I say that in jest, but I mean, that's kind of the goal. Can we find enough value where anything we charge clients is just immaterial because we make it so good for them. Jacob, what did you find?
Yeah, I mean, this case I really like just because what we do is evolving every year. And, we've talked about this in previous episodes, but financial planning is not just like a set it and forget it thing. So this client in particular, they had plans of starting social security this year and some pension income. But, they also are an early retiree. So they need health insurance still, pre-Medicare age. And we've talked about this maybe in a previous episode too, but when you're pre-Medicare, your health insurance is all based on your income. So your income level determines the amount of premium you pay each month. And, Social Security and pensions, those are income streams. And because we had a good market year, we were able to actually generate income cheaper than those other sources that I just mentioned. And therefore, we were able to keep their health insurance premiums lower. So that's value that they feel right away this year. And, we'll look at it again next year and evaluate what the right strategy is. But I just really appreciate those types of cases because, like I said, it's not a set and forget it thing.
Very good. Well, when I was looking through my calendar and just to decide what to talk about, it was pretty obvious. We had a very significant advanced estate planning case that came up. So I've got a client that we work with that is a business owner, has done very well for himself. Within a couple of years of really selling completely the business, and already their net worth is, around $50 million. And so what happens when you have high net worth situations like that is estate planning becomes extremely important in order to try to conserve a lot of that estate from taxes. So what's worked out really well with this case is having a great collaboration with the accountant and the attorney, and we came together and designed a plan where this client is going to be able to shield, I'm going to just round it here, so it's 13.6 million is the exact number, but if we just do some rounding, they will have over the next 30 years pushed about 100 million out of their estate that will be estate tax free. It's unbelievable. And at a 50% roughly estate planning tax, when you include federal and Minnesota, again, just kind of rounding, I mean, we're talking about a $50 million tax savings potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come across these cases where you can just have an amazing impact on clients' lives, which really, if you think about it, they expressed to me, hey, the goal isn't really to make our kids rich necessarily, but if they had a choice between passing some of that money to charity or their kids versus the government and taxes, it was kind of an easy choice for them. And this was really, really impactful, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember when you pulled us in to just review those numbers with that case, just to make sure, we were all looking at the same thing. And like, sometimes it's hard to believe, even for people who do it every day, how big those numbers can get. It's just awesome. I mean, compounding wealth, generational wealth, that's actually exactly what's happening in that case.
But all three of these cases, definitely highlight what we do for clients that isn't necessarily their portfolio value, right? And that's a big value add and why we do this.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, that was fun. Maybe a little nerdy. But it's fun to reflect back on just kind of how we make a difference throughout the year. And so before Mr. Finley, we have you give us a portfolio update. I thought I'd just interject and see if either of you have any traditions you do for Thanksgiving, or if you have any big plans coming up.
I'll go first. We don't have really big traditions, but we're going to go to my wife's family. They live about an hour away. There'll probably be 30 or 40 people there. They kind of get everybody together. Everybody's got to bring a dish. So I think we're bringing 2 sides, and yeah, it'll be a good time. All the cousins get together and have some fun. So it's a good time.
Well, that's, you almost have to cater that one.
Pretty much. That's why they make sure everybody brings something, I guess. Yeah.
Good old Kentucky get together.
Yeah. They're all related in one way or the
Yeah. And for us, it's my time to do a formal dinner. So I like to cook. So it's hard to cook every day with everything that we do. So that's my time to plan a meal, have family over. Sometimes lots, sometimes like this year, it'll just be the 4 of us.
Now
It'll be a lot of fun though.
I'm trying to picture you in the kitchen, Matt. I didn't know you were the cook.
I love to cook.
Do you harken back to scientific days? You got your beakers, and are you measuring everything to the millimeter or what?
That would be baking. But yes. Okay. Baking, sure. I don't bake a whole lot. Cooking, I don't know. It's just fun. Someday I'll go to the Culinary Institute. They've got a week-long program. That would be neat to...
I need to know if you have an apron or not.
I do have an apron. I don't always wear it.
All right.
I'm going to talk to Emily. We might have to have a Christmas candid picture there with Finley in his apron.
There you go.
Yeah, my family is about an hour away, and so we'll just drive up there for the day and have dinner with just a very small gathering of us, probably only about maybe 6 to 8 of us, but it'll be nice. And then, hopefully it's not too cold. I can get one more bike ride in before the snow starts flying up here before December, but looking forward to the weekend. So that's good. Well, Matt, we've had a good year in the portfolios. I mean, the market's been very helpful, very friendly to investors this year. But why don't you just give us a couple of stats you found as we're on this theme of stats this year, and then just let us know what to expect, and we'll close it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So the S&P 500 is up about 26% as of this recording. U.S. bond market's actually down on the year a little bit, which, as many of you know, leads to our portfolio stance that we've had for the year, pushing into the equity side of the market, which has been great for our clients. We've averaged very strong double digits returns for our firm. Most clients are up in the 20 or maybe a little under 20% range, depending on their risk and what strategies we have. Certainly a outsized gain year from what we project out on a year-to-year basis, but we'll take it. Our assets under management are over 250 million now. So that's a kind of a neat little check mark for us as we're marching into the future. Neat little stat, over the last 6 months, we've done over 16,000 trades.
16,000?
16,000. And that's just the last 6 months. So we have, a combination of things that go into that. New money coming in, we're investing. We have to raise cash for clients' needs on a regular basis. We did some minor rebalancing and some direct security changes this year, but we didn't do a whole lot of rebalancing yet. So most of that is just client needs or new money allocations. That's still a lot, 16,000 trades.
It is. When I first hear that, it sounds like, we just must be flipping securities every day just around. But yeah, it's just, I guess when you put it that way, when you have, as many households as we work with, and each of those households have so many different accounts we have to work with, and there's all these different needs. It adds up a lot. It's no small thing.
Yeah, pretty crazy when you actually look at that 6-month number. It even shocked me. I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah.
The other big add-on this year is we continue to drive down cost in portfolios. Some of those swaps I just mentioned were to swap out some positions we had prior that we found equivalent or maybe even better positions, but at lower internal fees. And that's a direct savings to our clients. Roughly probably 15 or 20 basis points or 0.15% internal fees for the client. And we'll continue to do that as investments evolve and change, as the industry changes a little bit. We stay researching, make sure we find the best thing for both return and cost to our clients as we move along.
That's been a really big change over the last 10 years. I feel like it's accelerated maybe even the last 5, but it used to be that a very typical portfolio would be over 1%, the internal costs just of the mutual funds, because everybody's using mutual funds if you work with an advisor, and then the advisor would layer a big fee on top of that. And what's happened with these new products is we've been able to constantly sift down and get things just ultra cheap and shift some of that work back to us and keep the savings for the clients. Really, it's been a very good thing. It's powerful.
Yeah, we've shaved near 0.75% off of our client internal fees in the last 5 years.
Wow. Yeah. Just because of technology and certain product availability,
which just helps the returns by 0.75% a year better.
What do we expect maybe for this coming year?
Well, that might be a different podcast coming up, but yeah. So
nutshell,
we've had 2 really nice years back to back. This year was excellent so far with a month to go. We don't see that ending by the end of the month here. I would expect maybe high single-digit returns next year, low double digits for the markets. There's a lot of ifs out there, but in general, the economy continues to be strong, and we think it's going to continue to strengthen. Corporate earnings continue to improve. We think that continues. And of course, the entire U.S. economy, maybe global economy, is going to be driven by the evolution of AI. And that's, to me, is going to be akin to the internet of the late 90s, early 2000s, where it just transformed the entire world's life. And so that creates opportunities, and it also creates some things that might not work great moving forward.
Couldn't agree with you more. We're already seeing the helpfulness on the financial planning side and the tax side with AI, let alone on the investment side, just being able to get research quicker and better information. So it's going to be incredible to see this unfold over the next couple of years. But A lot of good things.
When are you going to hire our first robot?
Yes. Well, maybe by 2026, we'll see. Yes, a lot of great things been happening at the firm, and so happy to have all of our clients that have put their trust in us and be able to be part of their lives and make an impact. Love to give advice to anybody who would like it. So if you want a second opinion, certainly give us a call if you're not a client now and you want us to take a look at your situation. But I think we'll just leave it there. I mean, we're calling this the year-end wrap-up episode, just as a quick check-in. So anything else you want to add?
It's been a good year. That's for, yeah.
Been a good year. That's right.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thanks for spending time with us today. If you're a fan of the show, leave us a review. It really does help out. Let people know that you like what you hear, and give us some ideas of what you want to hear for topics on the podcast. For a takeaway, I would encourage you to go to our website, perspective6group.com. There you can go to our resources section, check out our blogs and podcasts, sign up for our newsletter. That would really be the action item for you. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll be updated when we publish new information to keep you on top of everything. So until next time, remember, financial freedom is more than money. So find your purpose and live your life well. If you need any guidance, we're here for you. Take care of each other out there.